Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys one of my favorite drills to create lag in the downswing. So here's what it looks like.
That was pretty sweet.
So stick around, we're going to show you how to do this and why it'll be so beneficial to your golf swing. So we're back out here at the beautiful golf club here at Superstition Mountain. I'm with Ed. He came all the way in from San Diego because he wanted to visit me so bad.
Oh, of course.
So let's walk them through what this drill is and who this is for. One of the more common things we see with players is not loading the wrist correctly, and if they do get them loaded correctly, powering the system incorrectly.
Yeah, they power it way too early, and a lot of bad things happen at the bottom.
And I think in an effort to square up this club face, oftentimes people are trying to apply force really early with their hands.
Yes.
And which, when they do that, often we'll see this big window through here.
Yeah.
It's something that I see in my online academy kind of almost daily if I go through and scroll through and look at images. Some of the telltale signs of a player that's casting it, number one, they're probably not shifting pressure correctly. So
they certainly haven't done it early enough.
Yeah, they're not early enough.
Yes.
So that leaves them somewhat powerless. And the last piece of the chain that they have power in is hands and arms, is to start throwing it at it
as hard as they can. Yeah.
And so the next thing we start to see is we see this club starting to line itself up really early. So there's no angle.
No. And once you start that, it's inevitable you're going to be like this. Because it's not like you can start throwing this and then catch your body up. There's not enough time in a golf swing for that.
Yeah, it's over.
It's impossible.
And almost always something earlier in the chain could be part of the problem.
Could be.
Now, this drill we have here will force you to do a lot of things correctly, however. And so what this drill is, it's the open palm drill. So you swing the club back, and then you open your fingers. And now the goal is, we don't want the club to disconnect from this palm. Maybe it'll happen over here late when the energy escapes. So if I don't want it to come off my palm, I can't throw it fast. I can't apply pressure early, because if I do, it's gone. I'm never catching back up again. So I've got to feel like I'm using my body to tow that system around.
Yes.
And keep the force on the back of the shaft long enough.
Actually, when I do that, I actually ask them to open it at address and take it away like that.
That's another way to do it.
And the reason I do that is for them to create leverage, they have to create width. And if they don't have width, they can't keep leverage because their lead arm isn't strong enough.
Yeah.
So they have to keep width the whole time, and you can't hold it like this. There's no leverage, and now it's all in your left hand. So the leverage is you pushing away with your right, hinging the right.
Yeah.
And then you have to maintain it. So I actually do it from the start all the way to the finish.
So you'll have them open that up.
Yep.
And move it along that way.
Exactly.
So I really like that adjustment to the drill, starting with it open from address so that you have to establish some of these angles earlier and maintain that width. That's really nice.
Also, it doesn't eliminate radial, but we tend to prefer a little more extension than radial, even though there might be a little radial moving into a greater extension. It's hard to go radial and keep pressure on the shaft. Extension is kind of where it is. And that extension actually squares the club up to my back line. If I'm in radial, I kind of lose leverage because I'm not pushing away as much, and now the face is open to the target line. So that's why it kind of promotes more extension in the trail wrist by doing it earlier.
Just so we're clear, not everybody probably understands what radial and extension. So radial hinge is the upward hinging of my wrist this way, and extension is the backward hinging of my wrist in this way. So if I'm set up here and I'm hinging this in the radial manner, that thing can kind of almost want to slide off. Where if I'm in more of extension, pushing it away, I'm keeping some pressure on there, keeping it taut.
We want leverage.
Yes.
Because we know leverage turns out into be speed. Once you lose leverage, you will seek to find power and speed somewhere. And usually it's not in a good place.
One of the big reasons we want this leverage or lag is that when you throw it out of the top, you you kind of gave away your leverage early, and now your potential for speed is gone.
Not just that, but your dynamic loft is horrible. The last thing you want to do is, we would rather see you take your 8-iron and make it into a 7 with some extension and some shaft lean and that speed more forward. But if you're doing this, I'm making it into a 9 or an 8-iron, and my low point's all over the place. So yeah, good luck trying to hit it at your target.
The ability to make good contact,
it's a tough one.
Kind of goes out the window when you start unloading things too soon.
Yeah.
So let me show you really slowly from down the line what this looks like, to show you that exaggeration so you really get the picture of what we're working on here. So I'm going to open my palm right at the beginning. Believe it or not, moving that slowly and hitting it that solidly is very difficult.
Yes, you just happen to have done
I happen to get lucky
100 million times. So yes.
I wasn't expecting to hit it perfect. So one thing to keep in mind is you have to be okay mishitting some of these when you're working through a drill like this. Work on the movement, make the movement good. You'll start putting the club face on the golf ball over the course of time.
And be a little gracious to yourself, right? Tee the ball up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? It's a challenge. And take your expectations of performance, be more realistic.
Yeah,
you flew that maybe 10 yards, 15 yards, maybe.
Yeah.
And you're not trying to apply any more effort than that. It's really challenging.
Not in the beginning, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to hit one more, doing the exact same thing. Once I feel like I've kind of got this motion, then the next step is we can go ahead and close the fingers on the right hand lightly and do the same thing, same speed. So let's see another one of those slow motion ones. Okay, now my goal is to duplicate that with fingers on the golf club. So the reason I really like this drill is it makes me feel almost like I'm needing to exaggerate this feeling of trail wrist extension and the club pushing on my palm. And then I feel like it needs to maintain itself for a long time when I'm doing this drill. So I'm never really feeling like I'm throwing or adding this basketball shoot or cast at any point in the swing. So it's really good for helping you feel how to move your body and keep things nice and stable.
And there's many other things. When you guys see the face on videos, you'll understand why it's such a beneficial drill. A lot of times we see very, very narrow at the top because their left arm collapses or their right arm retracts too far. By maintaining this leverage, it's almost forcing your trail arm to be wider. Yeah. And we know width is your key to rotation and being shallow. You almost can't do it.
I can't keep
once
my hand
this happens. The other thing is that the wider this stays, the more your chest has to turn, thus the more the rest of the other good stuff happens. So that's why this drill is so beneficial all the way down the chain.
You get a lot of things for free just
do.
by focusing on maintaining that.
Exactly.
So Ed, I think you're 100% right there. And that's why if you go across our channel, we talk so much about trail hand, trail wrist, and how those elements align with how we pivot. They go hand in hand. If you don't use this correctly, no pun intended. So hopefully you all like this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Also, we would love to be able to give you some personalized coaching. And that's why we created the platform Milo Lines Golf. So come on over, visit us there at Milo Lines Golf, join our academy, and we can give you the one-on-one attention you need.